Chapter 1. The Call of the Labors. In the ancient city of Thebes, the earth trembled under the thunderous footsteps of a young man named Hercules. His strength was beyond mortal measure, yet his life was not a parade of easy triumphs. Rather, he was destined to confront 12 daunting labors, each designed to test the limits of his might, cunning, and spirit. The first labor alone demanded he wrestle a lion whose claws bit like iron. He endured pain, fatigue, and the doubt of those who called him a mere mortal. He pressed on, not because the task would be painless, but because the promise of a better self lay beyond the struggle. The lesson that echoes today transcends mythology. In our business, we face challenges that seem as monstrous as a Nemean lion, an industry shift, a market storm, or a personal doubt that gnaws at confidence. Success does not arrive through avoidance of hardship. It arrives through stepping forward, accepting the discomfort, and moving one step after another. How you can apply it today. Start a project you have avoided because it feels huge. Break it into bite-sized milestones. Treat each milestone as a mini labor. Celebrate the small victories and keep your eye on the larger goal of becoming a better version of yourself. Conclusion. Hercules didn't wait for the lion to surrender. He met it head-on. In the same way, confront your giants. The only certainty is that each labor teaches a new skill, whether it's persistence, creativity, or resilience. Call to action. If today's story sparked the fire in you, give this video a like, share it with a friend who needs motivation, and subscribe for more journeys that turn trials into triumphs. Reflective question. What giant do you need to wrestle today, and which small step can you take right now to begin that confrontation? Chapter 2. Mindful battlefields. Centuries after Heracles forged his reputation, a warrior named Arjuna found himself on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, trembling beside his comrades. Facing a war he could not accept, he sought counsel from the sage Krishna, who in turn introduced him to the profound teachings of the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna urged Arjuna to rise above the dualities of the world, to align his mind with a higher purpose, and to act without attachment to the outcomes. The Gita's core lesson is that one must perform duty with detachment and mindfulness, focusing on the action itself rather than its fruits. In the rush of our own corporate battles, deadlines looming, expectations mounting, detachment can be the balm that keeps us sane. When you become attached to the result, you build a fragile anxiety that cracks under pressure. Instead, practice mindful intent. Map out the action, execute with diligence, and trust the process. How you can apply it today. Take your next presentation or project proposal. Set a clear intention, deliver a clear idea. Remain present as you speak, focus on clarity, not applause. After the task, step back, gather feedback, and release the outcome from your mind. Conclusion. Just as Arjuna's clarity of purpose turned the tide of war, mindful, detached execution can transform your daily projects into triumphs. Call to action. If Krishna's insight resonated with you, hit that like button, share with a colleague on the front line, and subscribe for more ancient wisdom that redefines contemporary challenges. Reflective question. What outcome do you currently cling to, and how might you reframe that outcome as a distant horizon, focusing instead on the steps you can control now? Chapter 3. Steady waters. A timeless Chinese proverb says that a river cuts stone not by cutting force, but by steady perseverance. Over centuries, this river's silent persistence eroded even the hardest rock, proving that continuous effort outweighs sporadic bursts of energy. In the ancient world, the wise Chinese farmer understood that the key to a flourishing harvest was a disciplined, unwavering routine, not a random flurry of cultivation. In modern life, this proverb reminds us that the path to mastery, whether learning a new software, building a brand, or cultivating health, is paved by a steady rhythm. Consistency beats intensity when the goal is sustainable excellence. How you can apply it today. Design a consistent routine around a skill you want to improve. If your goal is fitness, schedule a 10-minute walk every morning instead of a frantic 60-minute session once a week. If you aim to learn a language, practice 15 minutes daily rather than a marathon once a month. Conclusion. The power of perseverance lies not in the force of your will, but in its unbroken continuity. Call to action. If the river's lesson sparks a resolve in you, tap like, share this insight with someone who needs steady motivation, and subscribe for more stories that transform persistence into progress. Reflective question: which area of your life would benefit most from a quiet, consistent practice, and what small daily habit can you start today to honor that path? Chapter 4: The Fusion of Strength. Merging the raw vigor of Hercules, the philosophical depth of the Bhagavad Gita, and the silent tenacity of the Chinese proverb, we arrive at a harmonious synthesis of power, purpose, and perseverance. Each element contributes a vital component. Hercules embodies resilience, the Gita offers strategic mind-body alignment, and the Chinese saying encourages relentless effort. Together, they form a powerful trifecta for modern success. Resilience: face obstacles head-on, accept pain as part of growth. Purposeful action: engage fully with the task, detached from the reward. Steady perseverance: cultivate rhythms that maintain momentum over time. Apply it to your leadership style. When hiring, assess a candidate's resilience through behavioral questions that reveal past hardships, examine their alignment with company values, purpose, and evaluate their consistency in delivering results, perseverance. Conclusion: in essence, greatness is born when the sword of action is guided by purpose and tempered by discipline. Call to action: if this fusion resonates with you, hit like, share the message, and subscribe for ongoing journeys that meld ancient wisdom with modern living. Reflective question: how can you weave the strength of Hercules, the clarity of the Gita, and the persistence of the river into one unified approach to your current challenge? Chapter 5: Beyond the Labors. The ultimate reward for Hercules, Arjuna, and the patient river was not a crown or a battlefield victory alone. It was the transformation within, the elevation of self to a higher state of being. Similarly, for us, the pursuit of trials is a catalyst for personal evolution. Each effort, each mindful action, each consistent practice refines our character, sharpening our vision and reinforcing our resolve. To bring this into daily practice, set a quarterly reflection. Review your progress, celebrate victories, identify blind spots, and realign your priorities. Use this reflective window to honor the journey, not just the destination. Conclusion: the path to triumph is less about the outcome's glitter and more about the internal alchemy that turns struggle into wisdom. Call to action: if you see the path unfolding in your own life, hit that like button, share this vision with a friend on their own growth journey, and subscribe for more videos that blend ancient legends with modern action. Reflective question: what internal change do you seek after each trial, and how will you cultivate that change through continued reflection and evolution? Philosophy Spotlight. Vedanta and Hindu philosophy. Vedanta, the culmination of ancient Indian wisdom, focuses on the ultimate reality that all is one and that the self is a reflection of that oneness. Its core message is that the world is an illusion, Maya, and true liberation lies in realizing the self's unity with the cosmic consciousness. A pivotal figure in Vedanta is sage Chanakya, whose political treatise, Arthashastra, interweaves practical statecraft with profound philosophical insights. He famously stated, "The mind is the greatest of all enemies. When it overcomes itself, the world can be conquered." Chanakya reminds us that control over the mind is the greatest victory. Lessons for modern success and motivation. One, self-realization as power. In our fast-paced lives, understanding that our true identity extends beyond roles and labels gives us the freedom to act from a place of inner certainty. This reduces panic during market swings or personal setbacks. 2, detachment is strength. Recognizing that outcomes are fluid, the Vedantic principle encourages working with full devotion but without binding attachment. This balance protects mental resilience while preserving motivation. 3, universal perspective. Vedanta teaches that each obstacle is part of a larger, interconnected system. Viewing setbacks as lessons within a grander plan prevents isolation and encourages collaborative growth. Connection to the script's theme. The tales of Hercules, the Gita, and the Chinese wisdom all touch on the same underlying Vedantic truth. Human experience is a dance of action and awareness within the vast tapestry of existence. By embracing the unity of mind and world, we can step from labors to mastery, transforming every struggle into a lesson that propels us toward liberation from limitations. Embark on this journey, and let the ancient river of wisdom guide you to a state of balanced power, mindful purpose, and unwavering perseverance.